Hi, Jeff Simon here for SocialFlight along with Jake Simon, who's back from UMass for the summer. And I'm so excited that you're going to be helping out with the build when you're not off working in your internship. So we've got an exciting stage of the build going on. You know, during the build, so many times you have pieces going on and off and on and off, just fitting them and then leaving access to do other work down the road. But every once in a while, you have this great stage where you get to glue, rivet, and something's just permanently done. And we're gonna do that now on something called the F skins. That's on the tail. The skins go on from the tail to the front, so they overlap. Each forward one overlaps the rear one for airflow, so it just naturally steps that way. And we're gonna start working on those skins and getting everything all wrapped up on our Titan T-51D Mustang. Now, Jake, we made a video about a bead roller a while ago, just teaching people about how it curves things. Tell us what we're going to be doing today, because today it's on production parts.
So again, for those who didn't see the video, so this is the bead roller that we're using. It's basically just an electric powered device that you can put in a sheet of aluminum and it will create certain radiuses of bends. The point of why we're using this is for the skins. If you were to just rivet the flat skin onto the aircraft, you have these curved surfaces on the top and the bottom, and it's going to leave a gap. Even some of the places where it's pretty flat, where the side skins are joining to the aircraft, it still might create maybe a 1/16 or even less than that of a gap. And in order to create a really tight seal and make a really strong part and good looking part, you can put a little radius on the top and the bottom and make it really, really tight. So that's what we're going to try to do. We did a little bit of practice on some some scrap metal pieces, because we're basically cold working the metal. So we only have a few shots, and the goal is to get it in one.
One shot.
Yep.
One shot. That's our goal. Get the curve right, make it fit, and it transitions too, right? It goes from a big curve to being more flat. I mean, this is not so straightforward, but you ready to give it a shot?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get to work.
You might have to push it towards that. Get it all of it.
I'm not going to get it all the way.
Were you trying?
To get it all the way? No. I was just trying to keep it here. I think this is good. I'm liking it. It doesn't look too drastic. Right, you don't really see it. It kind of just looks like it flows.
That's a really good idea. Those lines.
Oh my god.
It's like watertight.
Jake, that is nice.
There's no way I can help you.
Yeah.
This looks amazing.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for another stage of our Titan T-51D Mustang build. These things are solid and done, and the curve came out perfect. Nice job, because Jake was in charge of making these curves work, and I will say they are perfect. You have a job for the rest of the skin, so you may have to up your game as it's going to get longer and more complex for skins, but you showed you know how to do it, and you're the only one with experience on production parts and making them come across. But this, I mean, everything just looks fantastic now, and of course this gap is where our horizontal stabilizer is going to go once we get this thing out of here. What do you think about the process?
So it definitely took a little bit of practice, because you want to make sure that you can get it kind of going in the straight, in a straight line through the bead roller, because you can kind of choose how far into the bead roller you want to go based on where you want to start your curve. So we kind of picked the radius that we wanted, and then we picked how far kind of up the skin that curve would start. So what we ended up finding was that we could kind of create more complex curves where the back of the skins, the radius would start really close to the edge, because we only need a little bit of overlap when it's more flat on flat. But then towards the front, we can kind of work back with the start of that radius and really get a really nice transition. So we drew a few lines on the bead roller.
On the dies. I think that's the key. The die is what those two rollers are on the bead roller. They're called dies. And Jake had this great idea well, you explained it. It's your idea.
So we basically just, as the bead roller was rolling, we'd put a bunch of Sharpie lines on it, just kind of color coded, just so it made it a little bit easier to look at. And it's a really good reference point, so you're always either going in a straight line, or you can transition from one line to another line, which is what we ended up doing for the bottom of the skin.
It really made it great. It was a fantastic idea that you had. You've got those guidelines, and since you're not always going all the way to the stop on a bead roller and on the die, so it just came out great. So thanks so much for everything you did, and I can't wait to have you do more building this summer.
It was fun. We got some more complex curves coming when we get a little bit closer to kind of the turtle deck. So it's good practice for that.
Next one's going to be the hardest. All right, for SocialFlight, I'm Jeff Simon. This is Jake Simon, and just thanks so much. Be sure to check out SocialFlight.com and the free apps for mobile devices for Apple and Android devices. We've got tens of thousands of events and destinations, so many cool things going on. You can play the Fly to Win Challenge and compete to win prizes on there. And every Tuesday night on SocialFlight Live, we have fascinating guests that are inspiring individuals from aviation. So be sure to check that out on SocialFlightLive.com as well. Until next time, thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe, and I wish you all blue skies.